we have a huge impact on our men, maybe more than we'll ever understand. And I believe now more than ever, God is calling wives to step up and be strong women for His kingdom. And it starts at home with our husbands. I have a vision of God rising up an army of strong, courageous, confident, yet gentle wives who so powerfully impact their husbands that their men step up to become mighty men of God, where the revival really takes place. When our men assume that leadership role and they are on fire for God, then step back and watch out, because big things happen. Spiritual reawakening happens. Well, it starts, not all of it rests on our shoulders, but a huge part starts with us, ladies, and the role that we play in our men's lives. And I believe God is giving me a vision that I want to pass on to you about how you can become this woman of great influence, positively so, in your husband's life. I believe He's calling women to 6 qualities, beyond the fact that, of course, you should be a woman who is seeking after God with your whole heart, who loves God with your whole heart. But after that, I believe He's laid on my heart 6 qualities that I want to pass on to you. And He's asking you to catch this vision of stepping into these qualities. And there's a Bible verse attached to each one of these qualities. Yes, they're biblical. Let me read the qualities and the Bible verse that's attached to those qualities, and catch the vision of the woman, of the wife that He's calling you to be. First of all, He's calling you to be an encourager for your husband. Oh, our men so desperately need to be affirmed and encouraged. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Encourage one another and build each other up." This is one of the most pivotal and transformational things you can do in your husband's life, to continue to encourage him, rally him, build him up. Secondly, God's calling you to be respectful toward your man, to respect who God wired him to be, to show honor to him as a man, to even respect the way that God has wired men in terms of their sex drive, to be respectful of your husband and his needs. Ephesians 5:33, the wife must respect her husband. How are you doing in terms of showing a respect toward your husband? Whether you feel it right now or not, can you act with respect toward him? Next, God is calling you to be a gentle wife. 1 Peter 3:4 says that the unfading beauty of a wife should be her gentle and quiet spirit. This doesn't mean that you need to just be meek and never say anything, but do you have a gentleness about you? Are you gentle with your husband, or are you that harsh, critical, demeaning wife, sarcastic and always putting him down? Can you be a gentle wife instead? Next, compassionate. He's calling you to be a compassionate wife, because your husband isn't perfect, but neither are you. Can you be compassionate toward him and humble, realizing that you are not perfect either? I think of Colossians 3 verse 2. Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Fifth, He's calling you to be courageous, to be a courageous woman. Sometimes that means being courageous in terms of saying, I'm not going to just be a doormat, and I'm not going to stand by and watch you throw your life away, husband, as you're looking at pornography or drowning yourself in alcohol. No, I am a strong, courageous woman who will fight for my husband, who will maybe even confront if necessary, because I have enough courage to have self-respect for myself, but also to fight for my man's welfare. I think of Joshua 1:9, where God says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And then lastly, He's calling us to be prayer warriors, to get on our knees daily and pray for our husbands, that God would transform our husbands' hearts, that He would build them into mighty men of God, that He would give our husbands a vision for the man that He has called our husbands to be. I think of Colossians 4:2. Devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful. Do you catch the vision? You can play a mighty, mighty role in bringing about revival in our families and in our country.